Well, when you step on the mound, you usually need an edge, and I think this guy will be the first to tell you that he has it. It's Matthew Troupe jumping on the Firebirds Extra pregame show with myself, Kevin Fitzgerald. And Matt, you're off to a solid start this Cape League season. You haven't even given up an earned run yet early throughout this season. Let's just start with that. What is working well for you right now? You're throwing smoke, you're throwing the heat. What's working well for you up on the mound?
Well, first of all, thanks for jinxing it. And second of all, you know what? I mean, I'm just trying to get on the mound and throw strikes. I've had plenty of problems in the past with throwing strikes, so just trying to repeat my delivery. And for the first 8 innings, I think it is, of the season, it's been going pretty well. So
now, you are notoriously one of the top pranksters on the team, although you're about to get pranked right now, I think, by one of your top teammates. Jeff DeGroat, your partner in crime, just got you right there. We'll touch on that in a moment. But let's get back to you starting well this Cape League season. You're someone who, I'll say this, may or may not walk batters to get them on, to put a little extra pressure on yourself. Now, I don't know if you'll admit to that one, but why do you want that pressure on the mound? Why do you need that pressure when you're out there to just thrive under pressure?
Well, that's actually funny because Coach Lopez at Arizona messes with me about that all the time. You know what, man? Obviously, I don't do that to myself. That's about to get wet. I'm just letting you know real quick.
We're okay. Everything's all right here.
All right. Well, I mean, obviously, I'm not doing that on purpose. I don't want to put the extra pressure on myself or the team, Coach Lopez. But you know what? I mean, it does happen, and you just got to learn to push through it. And fortunately, I've been able to get out of a lot of situations like that. But you know what? I really need to work on not letting that happen, because sooner or later that's going to bite me in the butt, and it has in the past. So, yeah, the pressure situations, I get in a lot of them, and thankfully I've been able to get out.
Well, I think you see well with those things out on the mound. You always go with the glasses. You always go with the goggles. As it's Matthew Troupe here joining us on the Firebirds Extra pregame show. You've been throwing smoke, like I mentioned before, earlier in this Cape League season. You got the heater that's going well this early. What is the one pitch? What's that secondary pitch that you go to for the strikeout when the heater's not working?
Yeah, you know what? Lately it's been 2 pitches. It's always been a 12-6 curveball I've had the entire time I've been pitching last few years. But I've been working on pretty steadily on a slider, and I've been showing it. And I think the strikeout pitch has still been the 12-6, but I think throwing the slider over for a strike earlier in the counts kind of set up the 12-6 action. So I got something going sideways, and then the 4-seam, and then something going straight down. So I think adding the slider, something going a different direction, has really set up the other pitches nicely. So
you've not only won a College World Series at Arizona as a pitcher, but you started your baseball career as a catcher. You played catcher in high school out in Northridge at Chaminade. What was that transition like, moving from catcher to pitcher? Did you ever expect you'd be thrown out on the mound basically your whole high school career as a catcher?
Yeah. I dabbled a little bit with pitching my freshman year. And then, I got converted into a catcher, and unfortunately, I hurt my left shoulder a little bit and was forced to kind of stop hitting as well as I wanted to, and catching. So, you know what, got on the mound, I tried to throw it as hard as I could. And that's how I started pitching, and it worked out. And then after that, I had to work on some other pitches. And but yeah, it's a blessing, honestly. Blessing in disguise, and it all worked out.
You ever miss getting up to the plate? You ever miss hitting from time to time?
Oh, yeah, man. I stand out here shagging fly balls for these guys, looking at Jeff DeGroat, my partner in crime, who just got me all wet, wondering what he's doing, swinging at some of the pitches he is. Just kidding. I got to get him back a little bit. But yeah, it's tough sometimes watching all these hitters hit and knowing that I used to do it pretty well, and now I'm not really able to.
Well, I think you're safe for the rest of the Firebirds Extra pregame show. Jeff got you before us. It's Matthew Troupe here joining us on the pregame show. First pitch is coming up at 7 o'clock, and let's touch on that for a second. You go to Arizona. You almost went to Oregon State, but you end up going to Arizona. You win a College World Series your first year. You throw the final out. Well, I want to touch on this. The win is always great. What was the best memory off the field that you could put your finger on throughout the entire College World Series run? What would be the best memory besides the victory, if you have one?
Honestly, best memory is all our bus rides. I mean, we had some pretty funny bus rides, and a lot of stories I can't really tell on camera. Let's just put it that way. But there were some funny bus rides. I mean, when you're winning in Omaha, I mean, you can't help but to have a good time. And you know what? Everyone was loose, from the coaches to the team managers, everything. So there was a lot of good times in the hotel. and a lot of good times on the bus. And then gameplay, I think when the people jumped out of the stands and ran onto the field and touched our outfielders' butts, I thought that was pretty funny also. Kind of jealous. I wish I was out in the outfield getting my butt touched.
Yeah, and you also got a ring to go along with that, so that's always good memory out in Omaha. So I got to ask, Kevin Kramer's up here, UCLA third baseman. Has he ever gone up to you and say, hey, you can put your old ring in the mail? We got the brand new one. You guys smack talk a little bit.
No, he's never said that. Actually, first thing he said was, hey, thanks for serving up a 3-1 fastball that I hit a home run on you during the season. He did do that to me this season. So, yeah, no, he's a great player, and it's a great program too. I mean, they easily could have done it the year before. So, I mean, they're always a great program. We're great programs. It would be fun facing them again this year. And being from LA, I know over half the team, so it's always a good time playing UCLA.
I was going to say, I think over half the roster is from California. You yourself is a California native, as is Matthew Troupe here joining us on the Firebirds Extra pregame show with myself, Kevin Fitzgerald. So I want to still touch on your Arizona career for a second. Last couple of years as a closer. Who would you say is the one closer that you try and emulate out on the mound, or the one role model that you always maybe try and emulate while you're out there? Who would it be?
I mean, I think the glasses might give it away a little bit, but I was a huge Gagne fan. Huge Gagne fan. Used to have the Rec Specs in Little League and Pony Baseball. And as you can see, I'm growing out the goatee a little bit. I still have the shirt, and it's a pregame ritual. I touch the Gagne goatee right before I go out on the mound. I take it off. I rip it off. When you see me running onto the field, I rip my shirt off, and that's the Gagne shirt. You ever see that? But, yeah, Eric Gagne, I was a big fan. And right now, I mean, you always respect Mariano Rivera still doing it to this day with one pitch. I think that's nuts. But I mean, every single closer, I have respect for all of them doing it. I mean, I'm only in college and trying to do it, and it's insane, it's intense, and the fact that they're doing it every single day in the major leagues is, you got to respect that.
All respect to Eric Gagne, but I think you're at this point a better pitcher than him right now. Someone who's not even in the majors right now, but he was solid throughout his playing careers. It's Matthew Troupe here joining us in the Firebirds Extra pregame show. Over at Arizona, you do a lot of goodwill stuff with not just the baseball team, but you work for an organization called Chapel Haven, an organization that works with kids with autism and with special needs. What do? You get to give back to the community once a week with this program.
My mom raised me into giving back to the community, and my best friend, Marissa, back at school, she told me about this program, and I was like, I bought into it right away. I was like, I think it would be awesome, so I gave it a try. I came out one Tuesday right after practice. It's for about an hour and a half, and I go out and I started just working with these kids. And what the program does, it helps them with their social skills. So they bring in some kids from the school, Greek life. I was the only athlete that did it. But just being able to work with these kids with their social skills, and they're just, they're just like everyone else, and some people don't really understand that at times. And it's very nice to give back. And these kids, honestly, have become friends with all of them, and I'm really thankful for my friend getting me into that.
And it's, like you said, it's a terrific gesture to be able to do something like that once a week. The Arizona right-hander is here on the Firebirds Extra pregame show with myself. It's Matthew Troupe, and let's finish up on this. We just saw your partner in crime, Jeff DeGroat. You are the top prankster on the team. True or false? Your best prank, what would it be?
My best prank? I'm not going to use it right now because you guys will see in all these pregame interviews. Me and Jeff have a bunch. Although
we'll eventually see him, right?
Oh, you'll see him, but that's if I don't kick him off of the team. I might have to go solo mission since he's turning on his partner. But no, you'll see. You guys will see soon. That's all I'm going to say.
He's now a one-man act on the mound, and I guess during the shenanigans throughout the pregame activities. It's Matthew Troupe here joining us in the Firebirds Extra pregame show. Matt, as always, thanks for stopping by, bud.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, guys. You guys do a great job.
Modest, too.